Kristen Bell has never been one to hold back, but this time, her honesty left everyone speechless. The beloved actress, known for her charm, wit, and authenticity, recently opened up about her sex life in a way that surprised fans and even her co-stars. During a candid chat on her husband Dax Shepard's Armchair Expert podcast, Kristen revealed a personal regret about her younger years and what she wishes she'd done differently. The moment started innocently enough. Kristen appeared on the show alongside her Nobody Wants This co-star Justine Lupe to promote their upcoming project. But the conversation quickly turned intimate when Dax posed a bold question. On a scale from 1 to 10, how sexually active were you in your 20s? Without missing a beat, Kristen laughed, a little caught off guard, before replying, "Well, 10 is a sex worker, and 0 is a virgin. I'd say I was around a 4. Then, with a mischievous grin, she added, "Honestly, I kinda wish I'd been a 6. Everyone burst out laughing, but behind the humor was a genuine sense of reflection. Kristen explained that while she had a great time in her 20s, part of her wishes she'd been more open, adventurous, and carefree, or, as she jokingly put it, "I wish I'd fluttered around a bit more." Her words struck a chord, not just because of the unexpected confession, but because of how relatable her honesty was. As she and Dax reminisced about their early days together, she admitted that age and experience had changed them both. And in her words, "We've gotten older, and it's obvious. We've changed a lot, but it's been for the better." That blend of humor, vulnerability, and raw honesty is exactly why fans love Kristen Bell. She's never tried to appear perfect, and that authenticity shines through whether she's talking about parenting, marriage, or even sex. During the conversation, Justine Lupe jumped in with her own playful perspective. When asked the same question, she laughed and said she was probably a 6 in her 20s. Kristen responded with a grin. "Nice. Good for you." It was a funny, light-hearted moment between friends, but also a reminder that honesty and openness can be powerful, even when the topic is a little uncomfortable. Dax, always the supportive husband and co-host, praised Kristen for being so real. "That's what works for us," she added. "We have to be vulnerable, especially when we don't want to be." It's a philosophy that defines their marriage, and one of the reasons their relationship has endured in Hollywood's often turbulent spotlight. Kristen and Dax have never hidden the fact that marriage takes effort. They've spoken publicly about therapy, communication, and learning to grow together instead of apart. "Marry your best friend," Kristen said during the conversation. "That's really what makes everything else work." But while Kristen might look back at her 20s with a small sense of what if, she's certainly not missing out now. In fact, she's channeling some of that playfulness into her work, particularly in the hit Netflix series, The Woman in the House Across the Street from the Girl in the Window. The upcoming second season, she teased, will be hotter and more daring than ever. "We have a responsibility to make this fun," she said, laughing. "It's so hot." When Dax teased that he'd only seen the first 2 episodes, Kristen leaned in and warned him, "Oh, you haven't seen anything yet. It gets really spicy." "Give us one word to describe it," Dax challenged. Without hesitation, Kristen smirked and replied, "Mount." The room erupted in laughter again. The actress has a way of delivering lines that are both cheeky and completely natural. Part of her undeniable charm, Kristen's humor has always been part of her brand. Whether she's voicing Anna in Disney's Frozen cracking jokes about parenting chaos, or being candid about intimacy, she has a way of balancing sincerity and comedy perfectly. But beneath the laughter, there's depth. Her willingness to talk about topics that most celebrities avoid, like sexual confidence, relationship vulnerability, and personal growth, makes her stand out. In fact, this kind of openness has defined much of Kristen and Dax's journey together. They met in 2007 at a mutual friend's birthday party, started dating soon after, and married in 2013. Over the years, they've faced challenges just like any couple, from addiction and recovery to raising 2 daughters in the public eye. But what's made them an inspiring pair is their transparency about the real work behind a healthy relationship. Kristen has said in past interviews that she and Dax see honesty as a cornerstone of their marriage. "We don't pretend everything's perfect," she once explained. "We talk about everything, even the uncomfortable stuff, because that's how you stay connected." This recent podcast episode was just another example of that commitment to openness. Instead of dodging a potentially awkward topic, Kristen leaned into it, using humor to express something real about human nature, the balance between curiosity, regret, and acceptance. When asked if she ever feels embarrassed sharing so much publicly, Kristen shrugged it off. "It's just life," she said. "I think people relate more to imperfection than to the illusion of perfection." She went on to explain that her goal isn't to shock people, but to normalize honesty even about things that are typically kept private. And that's what makes Kristen Bell such a refreshing voice in Hollywood. In a culture where image often matters more than authenticity, she continues to be unapologetically herself. From joking about bathroom habits with her kids to opening up about mental health struggles, she's built a career and a fan base around truth and humor. The confession about wishing she'd been a little more adventurous in her 20s might sound trivial, but it carries a larger message. Life is about embracing experiences, learning from them, and not being afraid to laugh at yourself along the way. As the conversation on Armchair Expert wrapped up, Dax asked Kristen what advice she'd give her younger self. She thought for a moment before answering, "I'd tell her to loosen up a bit. Don't be so afraid to make mistakes or to have fun. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be present." It's advice that resonates deeply, especially coming from someone who's built a career on playing both strong and vulnerable characters. From Veronica Mars to The Good Place, Kristen's roles often reflect the same kind of complexity she shows in real life: funny, flawed, and deeply human. Outside of her acting career, Kristen has also become known for her activism and philanthropy. She co-founded Hello Bello, a line of affordable baby products made with plant-based ingredients, and frequently uses her platform to advocate for mental health awareness. Her openness about anxiety and depression has inspired countless fans to seek help and talk openly about their own struggles. Why moments like this, where she candidly discusses even her private regrets, feel authentic rather than sensational. It's not about gossip or shock value, it's about connection. By sharing her truth, she makes space for others to do the same. And as for her marriage to Dax, their playful banter and shared honesty continue to keep fans rooting for them. Whether they're joking about date nights gone wrong or sharing heartfelt lessons about growth, they've become one of Hollywood's most relatable couples. Kristen's final takeaway from the conversation was simple but meaningful. "Change is good," she said. "We've changed a lot over the years as individuals and as a couple, but always for the better. And part of that is being able to laugh at the past while loving where you are now." Her confession might have started with a laugh and a bit of shock value, but it ended with something far more powerful: a reminder that regret doesn't have to be heavy. Sometimes it's just a reflection of growth, a sign that you've evolved enough to see the humor and the lesson in your own journey. As Kristen Bell continues to shine, both on screen and off, her fans can count on her to keep sharing her truth, unfiltered and full of heart. Because if there's one thing she's taught us, it's that authenticity is far sexier than perfection.